He's half rotten and eyes bulging out of their socket as they moved in a disoriented motion towards Annie. Annie woke up with a startle. She found that her heart was thumping furiously against her ribcage and her face glistened with sweat beads. Annie was a widow. She lost her husband to cancer and her little baby was too weak to survive and died a couple of hours later after delivering. Another nightmare, she said as she switched on the lampshade. The room was flourished with the dim yellow light, making it barely visible to make out the things. She got up to drink a glass of water. She poured the water, and as she was about to drink it, she felt as if she was being watched. She turned around and found no one there. Stupid woman. As she drank the glass of water and was about to leave the room when she noticed a dark misty figure from the corner of her eyes. She hurried off to her bed because she felt the presence of something not human. "Must be getting really mad," said Anne as she placed her hand on her forehead. "No, you're not." She heard a voice which had been so familiar. She turned around and found her husband staring right at her. And before she could test the sensibility of the moment, she was broken off her stance by the ringing of the doorbell. She went and opened the door. "Hi, Annie." "You have gotten so fat," said Jessica, pointing at Annie's stomach. Jessica was her neighbor and the only friend in the apartment. "These sighting and hearings are getting awfully familiar nowadays," she explained. Jessica just nodded and said, "I don't know how you will take the news, but I suppose you need help, Anna. You should meet Dr. Phil. He's an expert psychologist and I'm pretty sure he can help you." That's what you said about Zach and Chris before they gave up and made it worse. Jessica frowned. "I know, but that means we can stop trying." For the sake of Jessica, she went there. "The symptoms are quite clear. You're schizophrenic. Well, I would say that it improves with time, but it doesn't seem to happen in your case. So I advise you to be under our medication. You can settle all your work within a week and come back here." Great. So now she had only a week. Though the days passed by quickly, but her dreams became different too. I mean, she could hear his baby was pleading her not to go. Jessica helped her a lot for getting her admitted to the hospital. She even promised to drive her there, but something happened and she didn't turn up. She looked at her house for the one last time, and before she left, she could swear that she heard something say, "Please don't leave us." She couldn't say that things changed when she got there, but rather it appeared that as if the hallucinations were getting a bit too troublesome. She once thought that his son was trying to choke her, only to find her blanket around her neck. She was even found trying to commit suicide with a knife, but she was stopped by the guards. This is when the doctor knew that the things were getting out of hand, and they started their shock treatment. A year passed by. "Do you see your family members anymore, Mrs. Annicop?" "No, doctor." "That's all," said the doctor. Annie was resuming her questions. Her first thing was to go to Jessica and tell her that she had recovered, but to her surprise, her husband opened the door. "Yes?" Is Jessica in there?" "What? Is this some kind of joke?" "No, I'm serious. Where is she?" "Jessica died 10 years ago," he said as he slammed the door shut. Annie stood there transfixed. 10 years, huh? Forget it. She went to her room and inserted the rusty key into the keyhole. It opened with a creaking sound. 1 year can do that. She left the door open, and as soon as she entered, she heard a baby tune. from one of her rooms. She was afraid. So she went there and found no one. She waited a sign of relief and the door slammed shut. She looked at the door and found that there was no one, and when she looked again, she found Jessica staring at her. Her eyes was almost white with only a pile of pupil at the upper eyelids. But her body on the other side, her neck was twisted to the opposite side and blood out of her ears. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. She tried to run away, but something held her leg. Mommy, please don't leave us.
We asked you not to go, but you wouldn't listen,
said her husband.
So now, face the consequences.
No, this can't be happening. No, this can't be happening. No.